Hello traders, how are we? Bear with me, having slight technical difficulties. Hope you're all well. Hope you can hear me, hope you can see me. Welcome to the live stream. I say hope you can hear me and see me because the editor has deserted us. Not full time, right? He is, I don't know what he's doing today. He's probably down the pub, you know what he's like. Just me today, guys. No editor, but nothing will change. We're still looking for all of your questions, so don't be shy, guys. Ask as many questions as you like. We're also going to look at a couple of trades that I'm in and a couple of trades that I will enter if certain things happen. Right? What else are we going to do? And also, guys, there's no news while we are here. But we have got some important news later on, right? We've got crude oil inventories, and then we've got the FOMC meeting minutes as well. And the 10-year note auction, but the FOMC meeting minutes, guys, all right? So we must be aware of all this news later on, especially if you are in a US dollar pair, which is exactly what I am in, right? So I'm in US dollar Swiss franc, guys, as we speak. It's been a bit of a slow week, guys. Nothing's changed, right? I'm still in this US dollar Swiss franc trade, looking to take price here, if not higher. I'm still in my Canadian dollar Japanese yen trade as well. But things are looking good. We're starting to see some, bullish H4 candles here. We also had a break of H1 structure, right? This H1 structure was coming down, and then eventually we've got a break of H1 structure. So this is what we want to see. We want to see a break of H1 structure. This is a good indication that price could be coming up higher. And with H4, nothing has changed, right? We're still in a H4 uptrend. We've just kind of created a new higher low. So that's where I am with US dollar, Swiss franc, and Canadian dollar yen. I also want to show you two other trades setting up, right? I will be all over these like if I was on a date with Gal Gadot, right? Bad analogy. Apologize for the reference. So I'm looking at Aussie dollar CAD, right? I'm just looking for a H4 break on Aussie dollar CAD, right? Because if you look at weekly, right, this Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar is at a really nice level, yeah, for coming higher on Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. Just look at that structure, look at that support level. And then if we look at the day chart as well, for me, we haven't broken the daily structure yet. We are still in this daily uptrend. This low hasn't broken, right? And we've got this nice bullish candle. So weekly and daily are telling me to buy Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. The only thing I'm waiting for is this, right? Is this H4 break. Now let's just follow H4 structure. And this is where we're at. And I thought we were potentially getting a break earlier, but then we got this big wick instead. So this just complicates matters, really. Now, you can see my dotted line in here. This is my alarm. I really have to move my alarm to above that level now, above this wick. Yeah, so I'll be looking for price to, like I say, break above there, and then you can just see structure. We're getting higher lows, higher highs, and I would be looking to buy Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. All right, so I'll definitely be trading that, guys, if that happens. And another one that I will definitely be trading if certain criteria is met, because when I talk about the criteria, right, that's my plan, okay? And I need to obey my plan like I obey my wife's orders, right? I don't. I'm the boss. I'm not. So again, just to quickly show you this one, guys, right? With pound Swiss franc, if we look at the weekly chart first of all, right? We're in an uptrend, higher lows, higher highs. And, you know, this is a doji candle, but look at this bullish wick, right? It's really rejected that level and we're in an uptrend. Okay, so I think we can go higher with pound Swiss franc. And if you look at the daily, guys, this is a bloody mess, to be quite honest with you, right? Now, you know, it was quite clear once we sort of broke this level, you know, it was clear I was looking for buys, and now it's just become like a just disgusting price action. But because of that weekly chart, I will trade this pair on the H4 if we get a break of this level. Again, you can see my alarm is in there. Okay. Why is my alarm there? Because again, guys, this would be, I mean, you could argue we're in an uptrend already here, right? You could. But this would be just a confirmation of the uptrend. If I get a break of this level, right, I'm now seeing higher lows, higher highs, right? I'd wait for a bit of a retrace. Well, I'd probably enter straight away, guys, and then build the trade, but also enter it on the retrace as well if it happens, and then I'd start buying pound Swiss franc. So I'm just showing you two trades that I would definitely be trading, guys, if that materializes. If it don't, I won't. Simple as that. Right, let's see who is in the house. I just went for it today. I didn't even say hello to anyone. I just got carried away. Right, we're getting loads of good questions in. So let's just say hello to everyone first. Lee James, hi. McFlay, Father Sunglasses, Hamed, Greg, Johan, Noor. How is everyone? Hope you're all marvelous. Hope you're having a good trading week. Now, we've got a question here from Lee James, and it says, Tom, would you say trading is more difficult today because of the markets awaiting news from the Fed this evening? The answer is yes, if you want to trade a US dollar pair, right? If there's big US dollar news coming out later, right, and you want to trade a US dollar major, Euro US dollar, Swiss franc, pound US dollar, then it does add another dimension of, it just adds another dimension to the trade, another thing you need to consider, right? So I probably wouldn't enter a US dollar trade now, right? I would wait for the FOMC meetings meeting minutes later. Not easy to say after 12 vodkas today, right? So I would probably wait before entering a trade, right? A US dollar pair specifically. Now, interestingly, right, I am in a US dollar pair. So I am in US dollar Swiss franc. Okay. Now, this is all going right, so far according to plan, right? We're in a H4 uptrend. We're getting, bullish candles. We're getting bullish wicks here. It's looking good for price to come back up to here. Okay. Now, if there wasn't news, I would just leave this trade, no problem, right? I'd just be like, right, this is looking good. But because I know there's FOMC meeting minutes later, there's a few things you can do. And I actually do a tutorial on this in the VIP Trading Academy, right? Now, I've entered here and I've entered here. So currently, sorry, to be more accurate, I've entered here and I've entered around here. Okay, so my average trade price is around here. So I'm in profit with US dollar Swiss franc. Okay, this is my average buy price because I've entered more than one trade on this pair. Okay, now you've got a few options, right? Now, before news comes out, right, I could move my stop loss, which I've now moved from here up to here. I could move my stop loss to break even, right? And this would be a bit of a risk-free news trade. Okay, there's one option, right? Another option is, if you're in a bit of profit, you could close, let's say, I don't know, 50% of the trade, right? And then move your stop loss up to break even, right? So we've got a couple of options here. And this is what I'd be looking to do. If price got all the way back up to here before the news, then great. I would definitely take some profit anyway. So they're the options. They're the things I'd be looking to do because I'm in a US dollar trade, whereas I wouldn't enter a new US dollar trade because of that news right now. All right. So I hope that helps, Lee. You know, yeah, you've got options, right? If you are in a trade, so you know, use them. And to be honest with you, this average buy level is a pretty good level on the H1. So if I get rid of this now and I go to the H1, you know, this is those H4 wicks that we're seeing, right? And price below here, even here, you know, kind of move your stop loss to here would be a reasonable place to put your stop loss, right? Yeah, so I'm just going to tighten things up, take profit if I can, and then, you know, hopefully I'm in a position where I can just let the news play out, you know, and in an ideal situation, news takes this pair into your favor, right? But it might not. So yeah, there you go, Lee James. It definitely brings a new element to your day if you've got news later. Another thing on this, guys, that I would share is, again, we talk about this in the VIP Trading Academy. Okay, now you can do what's called like a news straddle. Like when news comes out, you can, let's say it's coming out in 3 minutes, right? You can put a buy order up here, and you can put a sell order down here, right? So if price comes shooting down, it takes your sell order, and you can make profit that way. If it shoots up, you can make profit that way. But what I would be interested in doing is, because I want to buy US, well, not because I'm in US dollar for Swiss franc and I want to buy it or add to this position, I would just do a stop loss here, right? So you have a stop loss here and you have a buy order here because I want to buy this pair. And if news shoots up, takes your buy order, you know, you can move your, you know, keep your stop loss here and away you go, right? You can really maximize profit potentially on the back of news as well. So yeah, they're all the things I think about, Lee, before news comes out. I hope that helps. Okay, so what else we got here? Father Sunglasses, how do you stay focused in whatever you are doing and not allow yourself to be distracted? I would put it down to good preparation, right? If I want to be focused for the day, it's like if you want to be focused for anything, like a project at work, a football match, trading, right? It's all about the preparation. Okay, so my morning analysis that I do and I share with you guys in the free Discord, you know, that's my preparation for the day. So, you know, I've done all the hard work there. So it's easy for me to be focused when price does start moving, right? I put my alarms in. Okay, you can see my alarms that I put in, and I just wait for price to hit those levels. So because of that preparation, there isn't a great deal of focus for me to do, right? I just wait for one of my alarms to go off, focus on the trade then, and away you go. So preparation is so important in trading. You need to know what you're going to do with a particular trade before it happens. And this US dollar Swiss franc is a perfect example, right? Before news comes out, though, the options I spoke about are the things I'm going to do before the news comes out. So know what you're going to do before you do it. And then focus is easy, right? Because you've got it all planned out. Right, what else are we looking at? McFlave, thoughts on pound US dollar and Aussie dollar US dollar. I'm looking at the daily chart, waiting for the lower time frames to line up. Okay, all right, let's take a look at pound US dollar, because the pound is my motherland currency. And let's do a top-down approach, guys, right? Let's start with the weekly. Before I do, guys, if I could just please ask everyone to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Smash the notification button. That's important, guys, so you receive an alert every time we post a vid. And if everyone could please smash the like button while I have a quick drink of neat vodka. Okay. Right. What else? So yeah, pound US dollar. That's what we're going to look at for McFlave of Public Enemy. Right. So pound US dollar, on the weekly chart, yeah, we are in an uptrend, and it's retraced to a previous, this whole wick is a piece of support, really. Okay. So on the weekly chart, this is potentially a good area for buys. However, do you want to buy this candle? Answers on a postcard, and on the back of the postcard, you should be writing, no, I don't. Yeah. So that's the problem. This has had a massive sell-off, and we've seen some US dollar strength, right? I'm not saying price couldn't do that. I'm saying I want to trade the highest probability trade I can. And if I started buying into this candle, I decrease the probability of my trade, right? Simple as that. So it sort of cancels each other out, the buy and the, buyers and sellers here. Whereas if we look at the day chart, right, this is if we move this across as well, right, this is really a sell trade, right? It's difficult to pinpoint highs and lows here, really, but I would say this was a significant enough low, right? We stopped making higher highs, and then prices come down. So I would say we're in a downtrend, right? And we're below the moving average 20 as well. So very generally speaking, above the moving average 20, I'd want to buy. Below the moving average 20, I'd want to sell. Okay. But this would be my target, right? This key support level. And there's no value in that, right? I don't want to start selling here down to here. So pound US dollar is just not a trade for me, guys, really. If we got a bit of a move up, maybe towards the moving average 20, this resistance level, and we got a bearish candle, something like this, then okay, we could start selling back down to these lows. That's what I would be looking for, right? Or it sort of comes down, breaks this level, and continues on. We can look for sells in here, but I am inclined to sell pound US dollar. And another reason for that is the dollar index. Okay, so if you just look at the dollar index now, guys, right? If we look at the monthly chart, okay, I'm going to put a level through here. You can clearly see there is a very important level through here. Yeah, price is reacting. And remember, this is a monthly support level, right? And just look at the reaction we're getting. I know we've still got, what's the date today? The 9th. We've still got, 20 odd days left of this month. But look at the reaction we're getting at a key support level. If we go to the weekly chart, all right, let me remove this now. You can see this is also a very good weekly level, right? And we've had a weekly structure break. Yeah, we know for weeks US dollar was just so weak, and then look at that, kapow. In the words of Batman, kapow. We've broken this last high. So that is a weekly structure break for me. And look at the candle, right? So that supports US dollar strength as well, which leads me to the conclusion of selling pound US dollar. But again, so McFlave, right? If I'm gonna try, without even looking at Aussie dollar US dollar, because Aussie dollar US dollar is the same, right? You've got a weekly uptrend, right, at potentially a really nice retrace and a potential area to go long. Okay, but again, do you want to buy that selling pressure? No. Okay, if we go to the day chart, similar scenario, right? We're in this, we had this kind of uptrend, well, not kind of uptrend, it was an uptrend, and then it's broke this low. We're below the moving average 20, and I would target this 7,000 level, right? But there's just not enough value for me there, right, at the moment. So it's almost identical to pound US dollar, right? We've got a really nice level. I mean, you could potentially attempt to just take price down to here. Let's take a look at the H4 to see if that's with us, and it's looking like it will be. Yeah, so there you go. There's, this candle suggests we've got a little bit more selling pressure, right? I'd aim for this 7,000 level. But again, right, focus on the pair that gives you the most room, right? Is the better setup. And I keep going back to US dollar Swiss franc, right? If we go back to US dollar Swiss franc, if we go to the day chart, right? Look at all this. Look at all this free air that US dollar Swiss franc can move into, right? Like before it finds some key resistance, whereas Aussie dollar US dollar and pound US dollar didn't have any free air, right? It was coming down to support. Whereas US dollar Swiss franc and US dollar strength we're looking at, it's got loads of room. I mean, you could argue this low here is a potential resistance level, but okay, you've still got a bit of room to move into. But I would suggest price could even come up to here. So I'm seeing US dollar strength, but just pick the one that gives you the best setup. And for me, that's US dollar Swiss franc at the moment, guys. Right, what else we're looking at? Okay. Right, what else? Lee James, every man's wish. Yes, Gal Gadot. My God. Don't get me started on Gal Gadot, guys, or Liverpool FC, because trading will go out the window and we'll just talk about them two things for the rest of the time. Leon Howard, howdy, loving these lives, helps me focus my trades for the New York Open. Leon, great to hear. Thank you for the kind words. Tony Gold, how are you? Right, we got a question from Shreyas here. We'll take a look at that. Pooh Poppy, where the devil have you been? Welcome back. Okay, so let's take a look at Shreyas's question. So she asks, I hold my trades for 2 to 3 days and I risk 0.5% per trade on a 5K funded account. Would you suggest that I take slightly bigger risk, like 1% at least, as I am holding them as I'm holding them for days? I'm sorry the editor's not here to bring up the questions. He has got fired. He hasn't really, but if you want the job as editor, get your CV to Tom at Simply Forex. I'm only joking. He had to do something today. He's probably down the pub drinking. Terrible editor, really. So when you say a 5K funded account, this is going to be a prop firm challenge, right? Now, and I know a lot of you guys do prop firm challenges, and by the way, we've just partnered with a great prop firm. Okay, so check it out. We're with Blueberry funded prop firm, and you can get 15% off if you use our affiliate link. Okay, and we're going to be giving away some 5K funded challenges. Actually, funnily enough, Shreyash, you mentioned this. Anyway, it really depends on So generally speaking, risk is all about your appetite. Okay. Now I know traders that trade 1%. I generally trade from 1% to 3%. Right. But I know traders that trade 5% and above. Right. So first and foremost, your risk is all to do with your own appetite. Okay. It's also to do with account size and if you want to build it quicker, etc. Right. Now, a prop firm, a funded account is different because you have a percentage drawdown that you can't exceed. Otherwise, your challenge is over, right? So you need more data, Shreyas. Okay, so of those 2 or 3 trades that you have, you need to understand how many trades you generally have a week, right? And how much of those trades are in drawdown, right? To give you a real better understanding of how much risk you should have. But I would say 0.5 is particularly low because even if those, let's say the 3 trades that you're in all hit stop loss, you would be minus 1.5%. And let's say your drawdown maximum amount is 6%, right? You would still have so much room, right? You've got 6%, you're at 1.5. Now, if you just increase that to 1%, right, you would lose 3%, but you would still have 3% leeway with your maximum drawdown of 6%, for example. So I would increase because I've got to be careful how I phrase this, guys, because I am all about risk, right? The first thing when you enter a trade, the first thing you must think about is risk, okay? But risk can also help you to grow things quicker, right? So let's say, right, so 1%, right? I generally trade 1% risk per trade, right? And last year we had around a 45% year, okay? 45% profit, okay? Now, just imagine increasing your risk by 1% and making it 2%, right? You're now having a 90% year, right? So, you know, I don't, I'm not saying go risky, increase risk, but it gets to a point where, let's say, for example, you have, I don't know, a 10K account, right? And you make 1%, or you risk 1% per trade and you make 45% over the year. So it's a good year, right? But you've made 4.5K, right? Let's say this is dollars. Yeah. Now you can't, maybe you can. I don't know each person's living cost, etc. What part of the world you're in. If you're in Dubai, which I am, right? Not enough. Yeah. But, same principle here. So 4.5K is not enough to live on. If you up it to 2%, you've then made 9K for the year. And the following year, you're trading a 19K account. So risk is really a very double-edged sword, right? We don't want to be too risky, but we don't want to be too risk adverse that we never make any real money, right? So you've got to be, it's such a balancing act, and there's not a right answer for everyone, right? Because somebody else might have a 100K account, right? And they've made 45K. So that might be enough for them, right? But somebody who's traded in 10K, that might not be enough. So there's many variables to your own sweet spot, right? And you really need to crunch the figures based on your past performance, right? And get an idea of where you're at in terms of your performance, right? What you make, if you've only been trading a short time, what did you make in 3 months, right? Or what did you make in the last 6 months, right? So you need to base it off that, and yeah, and work out your sweet spot. And that's what I would say, Shreyas. If you want to pass that funded challenge quicker, you need to increase risk. But then you also need to be careful of not hitting the maximum drawdown limit. So it's a tricky one. But 0.5% does seem extremely unrisky, right? I would at least go to 1%. Yeah, so there's my couple of pence on risk, guys. Yeah, you really need to find your own sweet spot with that. I know a guy who trades 10% a trade. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that, right? You can have like 8 bad trades and you'll be in trouble. Right, guys, what else are we looking at? Before I take the next question, guys, if I could please ask everyone to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. If you haven't already, please come join our free Discord channel, right? It's free. We've got like-minded traders in there sharing ideas, knowledge. You can have a bit of a chit chat. It's a beautiful community where the flowers grow, right? So come join the free Discord. Also, guys, if you want access to my VIP Trading Academy, where I give you my trade signals, I give you my tutorials and strategies, and you get direct access to me, then come join the VIP Trading Academy. And right now, guys, you can get free access if you sign up. You can see above my head, Pepperstone, if you sign up with one of our preferred brokers. All right, you'll get free access. No brainer. Change your broker. Open a broker account, come join us. Right, what else are we looking at here? So yeah, good question, Shreyas. I like this question. What else have we got in the house? Noor, how are you, mate? Okay, so we've got a question here about, what about Hurricane Milton breaking land? Are you concerned about those for the dollar pairs? In a word, Leon, no. Right, even I could. I'm trying to get the right way of delivering this message. Right, control the controllables. That's all you can do in trading. Right, if there's a hurricane coming over, through Florida, right, or there's a war in the Middle East. Well, not there is, right, or Donald Trump is assassinated, right? All of these things, right? I can't control them. So I don't worry about them, right? All I do is focus on my strategy and my plan and execute it. Now, if one of those things happen and the dollar has a big crash, right? I might get stopped out of a trade. So be it, right? I cannot foresee that happening. Yeah. And and then after that event, if there is a big, like oil and the Middle East, right? Oil just kept shooting up, okay, because of Iranian bombs coming into Israel and the retaliation and sanctions on Iranian oil, etc. Right? There's lots of reasons why oil shot up, okay? And if we look at oil right now, okay? But I don't care what the reasons are. All I care about is this structure break, right? So it hit here, right? There was all this Middle Eastern news, oil shot off, right? I'm like, okay, I understand the fundamentals behind it, but all really I'm looking for is a nice technical level to start buying. And this is exactly where oil is at, right? This is at a nice technical level to start buying. So that's what I will do, right? I'm not interested in buying this candle, right? But let's say today we get a candle that ends up looking like this, right? That's reasonably bullish and bounced off this level. Then I'm interested in buying oil. And the Middle East, hurricanes, assassinations, whatever it is, I cannot control. I will just trade my setup, okay? Now, sometimes you might be in an oil trade and a bit of news comes out and no one can foresee that, right? And oil shoots up and you hit target. You're like, brilliant, right? But you can't foresee that. Or you're in an oil trade and oil shoots down and you get stopped out. those types of situations will work themselves out over the year, right? It's because it's luck, right? You know, but if you keep trading your setups, you'll be surprised of how lucky you get, right? Because you just keep doing the right things. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I would say on that. What else are we looking at? Yeah, Poo Poppy, I've been well. Thank you very much. What else are we looking at? Okay, so what else? Sorry, guys, I'm just looking for all your questions. Okay. Would you still enter US dollar Swiss franc? So Leon's asking, would you still enter US dollar Swiss franc? Not right now, Leon, because we've got this coming out later, guys. And this also answers, say it with Stone, this also answers your question on Euro US dollar. You know, would you want to take a quick scalp on Euro US dollar? I probably wouldn't, right? Because you've got this news coming out later, guys. So let's see how the US dollar reacts to this news. Let's not, you know, take a punt on this news and how it will react. Yeah, let's wait to see how price does react, and then we can follow price, right? Don't try and predict what will happen with this news. You just can't. No one can. The amount of analysts, right? I always, you know, sometimes I chuck on Bloomberg or CNN, and the amount of analysts are going, right, we're expecting dollar strength because of the interest rate's going to do this, and, you know, CPI inflation's at this level, blah, blah, blah. We're expecting dollar strength. And literally, I was laughing because I heard this analysis. The next day, you've never seen such a strong dollar, right? No one knows. No one knows the future. So just trade what you see, guys. Right, what else are we looking at? Okay, so Swiss franc yen. All right, I am looking at that. I do like Swiss franc yen trades, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm waiting for. I am in Canadian dollar Japanese yen buy, right? So you have to consider this, because if I enter Swiss franc yen buys, I'm doubling up on yen weakness. Okay, but what's not to like about Swiss franc yen? There is a key level through here that was broken. We are in an uptrend. Okay, we're getting higher lows, higher highs. And also, if you want a bit more confirmation, this is the daily chart, but let's take a look at that weekly chart, right? Look at that candle. That has absolutely flown past this level of resistance. There is so much buying pressure. It's yen weakness, really, rather than Swiss franc strength, right? It's yen weakness because the indices are shooting back up, right? So, yeah, I would definitely buy Swiss franc yen. What I'm specifically waiting for is a breakout of this consolidation. So you can see H4 is in an uptrend, and now we have just reached an area of consolidation. Okay, what I want to see is just a break of this level. If we get a nice H4 candle, break through this level, I think we have a nice trade on our hands. If, however, we get a break of these lows, I am not interested in Swiss franc yen. Okay, but let's look for some more clues, right? Judging by this candle, there's a strong possibility that we could break this level, right? If we do, I can start buying. I will put my stop loss below this level, right? Give it a bit of room, and then start buying Swiss franc yen. Yeah, make millions of pounds, buy your Ferrari, happy days. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm looking at with Swiss franc yen. What else are we looking at here? Hamid, US dollar Swiss franc is pumping. Yes, it is. This is what we like to see. What else are we looking at? Yes. So Noor makes a good point. So the hurricane doesn't affect the US dollar, but a few insurance companies, I'm sure their stocks go up, right? Or even go down, right? Insurance companies will have a lot of payouts, right? To give you an idea, right? I don't know if you saw it on the news in Dubai. This is relevant. So in Dubai, guys, here there was literally like end of the world rain, right? I was thinking about building an ark and getting loads of pairs of animals onto it, right? I didn't, because it didn't last that long. But it just pissed down, right? For literally like 48 hours. And the airport was flooded with like water up to the bottom of the plane, right? It was crazy. And it was so unexpected. But and so many buildings were flooded. But you can imagine the amount of payouts insurance companies did. And some insurance companies actually went bust, right? They just couldn't cope with the amount of, just the amount of payouts they had to do. So, yeah, maybe it could have but it will increase insurance premiums, right? If you live in Florida, I imagine your house insurance is very high, right? And the insurance companies are loving that. But they do have to pay out when your house goes, flying off. Right, what else are we looking at? Gold. Okay, let's take a look. Actually, guys, I forgot to ask. If I could ask everyone to please subscribe to the channel, please smash the like button. And if you haven't already, please come join our free Discord channel and also join our VIP Trading Academy. Yeah, there's so much education in there, guys, right? If you want to learn how to trade, be part of the VIP. Angus D. Hey Tom, long time no see, my friend. How the hell are you? I am bloody marvelous, Angus. I hope you are well too. Yeah, hope you're well. Colin, I've made it. Good. And HZ. Let's just finish with gold, right? Because I know people love a bit of gold. Yeah, it's because it's sparkling. Don't think that's the reason. But interestingly, with gold, this is the first time in a long time that we have had a lower low on the day chart, right? Look at this. We have broken this low. Yeah, price was clearly in an uptrend, right? You didn't have to, even like millipedes under rocks knew that gold was strong. Okay, but we have literally broken this low with this candle here, right? The body of this candle has broken this low. That is a daily structure break, right? And we've just stopped making higher highs. We've broken this low. So I would be looking to sell gold potentially back down to this level here, this 2,600, if not a bit further. Okay, and that also coincides with the US dollar strength that we were speaking about earlier, right? So, yeah, if you look at the weekly chart, I mean, you've got lots of room to move back into, right? You've got all of this really before you start seeing any support. The moving average 20 is so far away. There's lots of room for a retrace here. On the daily, less so. Right, the next piece of support, I would say, is literally here. Right, so that would be my first target. But I'd leave some profit to run. But gold, absolutely. Yeah, looking for sells on gold. I didn't take a trade because I was in US dollar Swiss franc. Right, same trade. It's US dollar strength, and we had a nice H4 setup. But yeah, there's this level through here, right? I would wait for price to sort of test in here. Moving average 20 comes down. Yeah, we get a kind of a big, like a rejection wick that closes back in here. I would look to sell gold from there. All right, but again, we've got the FOMC meeting minutes coming out later, guys. So let's see what happens first. And then we can follow, we can follow the reaction of the news. And if it coincides with what we want to do with gold, then happy days. All right, guys, on that note, we're going to call it a day. Thank you very much for joining me for the live stream. Don't forget to join me same time again tomorrow. Get all your questions ready for me. Have a great trading day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Please give me like 12 minutes to close this down because the editor's not with us. Right, where are you? Here we go. Here we go. End stream.